Dyslexic genius here. What I'm going to talk about is the biggest question I get is my phonograph won't play and the tone arm is too heavy. And the question is, how much have you cranked it up? And usually people who call me or ask me online is 10 times. So we put the brake on the Victor, and this is a Victrola, and we put a new needle in. If I can get the needle here. And I go, how many times have you cranked it? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you need to know your phonograph, how many spring barrels you have. So you could have, this has 4 springs. A Vic 11 has 2 springs. Some have 3 springs. So when you crank it up, it starts for the first barrel and winds up, the second barrel winds up, and so on down the road. So here we go. We're going to turn this on. We'll give it a little spin, and we put it down to play. And this is why your phonograph doesn't play. So you have to crank them all the way up. So I'm going to stand here and I'm going to crank 4 springs up. And you don't need to count them because you're going to feel the crank is soft. You're going to crank forever. That's why you get your 10 or 11-year-old child and go, hey, you want to have fun? Crank up the Victrola for me. And this happens also on a single spring motor. Here we go. It's all the way up. Now, when you lower the tone arm, these are heavy, and it's supposed to, the needle's supposed to drive into the record because the needle wiggles like this in the grooves. One needle's good for 1 or 2 78 plays. Purists will say 1 needle per side. I go with Victor Victrola, 2 needles per 2 78s, and then I change them out. So now we've done all this. And you see now when I hit the brake system, it comes right up to power. So you wait a moment for it to come up to power. Then you just slide in this. And now your Victrola runs. And this is for every phonograph. Edison's, Columbia's, Brunswick's, and all the way down the road to a Dixie or whatever. And this is what happens. If you crank it up all the way and it still doesn't have power, say it'll only play, you have 2 spring barrels, and it'll only play 1 78, then probably because the machines are over 100 years old, the springs might be weak and you might have to change those too. But always crank them up all the way and let them run all the way down. And the other reason is we want all the grease in the barrel to move around like this because you don't want to use only part of it. And that's my tip for the day.